So welcome to ProfileTree TV, and today we have a very special guest all the way from Hong Kong. We're going to talk about hotels and everything else in between, I am sure. So Girish, thank you very much for taking time out today, but let me hand over to you and let you tell our audience who you are and a little bit about your history and where you are now.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Ciaran. My name is Girish Jhunjhnuwala. I'm the founder CEO of Ovolo Hotels. I live in Hong Kong. I was born in Hong Kong. So I've lived all my life in Hong Kong, except of course for university. I went to the United States and studied there, did my bachelor's degree at the University of Southern California in Los Angeles. Came back and joined the family business right away, which was manufacturing. So we manufactured watches in Hong Kong, and then I took it across and started factories in China. And changed all that in 2002.
Amazing. And the watches is a very interesting sector to be in. But you left it then. You left watches and then moved towards hospitality.
That's right. So watches. I joined the watch business in a very interesting time. This was when we were just going in from the quartz analog. From the mechanical watch into quartz analog. And it was all new and it was all exciting and everything was going great. I mean, we're doing mostly OEM watch business, so we make for private labels, and they mostly ended up in the mass merchandise stores across US and Europe. And we did very well. And I just saw there's it was kind of becoming a sunset industry, and I mean, this is about 15 years into it, and I just felt that people are not going to be wearing many watches, and I had kids, and they never wore watches. And with the mobile phone, everybody's relying on a mobile phone to look at time. And I said, you know what? And there's no new technology. You couldn't make a watch go faster. 16 minutes, 24 hours in a day, 24 hours. You couldn't have more capacity or anything. So it was just going to get commoditized, and that's what eventually happened. And I just felt that. I got out at a very right time. In 2002, I shut down the factory and I sold it, very fortunately. And from the sale proceeds, I was able to pick up my first property in Hong Kong.
Amazing. And again, you made such a brave decision, to be honest, to leave an industry that you've been in for so long and actually move away from it. And again, as you say, you were lucky with the timing. I'm just wondering, was that luck or skill, because you were reading the market and you see what was coming? But it's a big decision for anyone to change industry as well. Did you have some doubts?
Yeah. Especially because it's your family's business. I mean, it's a business my father started, and it's a very difficult decision. But it's a decision, mind over heart, and your mind tells you that it's the right thing to do, but your heart was always that well, my father started it, and should I really be doing this? And he was not people. He has already passed away, and I knew that he probably would think that that's the right thing to do, and I have no regrets. I think I did it just at the right time. Got out, and yes, when you say when I got this property, luck certainly plays a role. Very important. It just happened by chance. My wife was actually looking for a restaurant space in Hong Kong, and she asked me to go along to take a look at it with her, and it happened to be on a street where I was born and brought up in, and I knew that road very well. And I took a look, and as we came out from her side, and we went around the corner, there's a for sale sign. So I just asked the agent. I said, "Hey, is this the shop for sale?" She says, "No, the whole building's for sale." And that is one thing that led to the other. And 6 months later, I went and acquired this property. And it was my first purchase in Hong Kong, and it's still there. I always consider it to be my flagship. It's the smallest of my properties, but I still consider it to be my flagship, and it's right across from my office. So I look at it every day.
Incredible! That's amazing. What a story! And what tempted you then to go into the hospitality or tourism business from making watches? What was the attraction?
Well, one of the first things that came to me was, when I was in the watch industry, I was spending a lot of time chasing after my own money. I mean, you had to give a lot of credit and so on. And I was spending a lot more time trying to get my money back from the credit I'd given. And I said, the next business I get into, I want to make sure that I'm paid up front and I don't have to worry about collections. And real estate always had a fascination for me. And I said, you know what, I got into real estate, and when I picked up this property, I had the idea of turning it into a boutique hotel. At that time, the business was in Hong Kong was more towards service apartments. There's a huge shortage of service apartments. So I actually turned it into a service apartment, and that did extremely well. So you were paid up front, and before they paid for the month on the first for the whole month, and you collected everything, and we did extremely well with that. And it's only in 2010, after 8 years after I started my real estate, did I decide I want to get back into hotels, which is my original idea.
Amazing. And when I look at your hotel website and see what your brand stands for, I see luxury, uniqueness. It looks, and you've got wonderful on the homepage, and I'm just saying it is. How have you brought something new like this to the hotel industry? It does seem like it stands out a little bit unique, and it really seems to be focused on the experience. So how did you bring that? Was it fresh eyes going into the industry, or what was your secret?
Yeah, it was a bit of both. You know, when I first started the business, when I was in my watch business, I used to travel a lot. And one of the things that, when I travel, I stayed in a lot of hotels, and there are many things about hotel stays that I did not enjoy. And one of the things that I decided when I was switching over and getting into hotels in 2010 was that although there were a lot of cool brands around and so on, but they weren't the coolest of experiences. So when you walked into a hotel, they would be trying to nickel and dime you for everything, right? How about an upgrade? How about this? How about that? Why don't we do this for you? You just paid for a room, and when you got to your room, it was like, everything had a price tag on it. The minibar had a price tag on it. The little water bottle had a price tag on it. So it was like just trying to sell you more and more. And I just found that whole experience very unfriendly. And although there were real cool brands and so on, but they were not offering the coolest experience. And I did not see any brands that connected with the customer emotionally. And this is where we came in. And I said, no, I want to be able to connect with the customer emotionally and understand what it is that drives them. Be a brand that delivers on an experience that truly connects to what the customer is really wanting, or what it's about. And that's how the whole Ovolo story began. So when you look at our branding, I mean, one of the things is we don't nickel and dime a customer when they walk in. What you see in a room is what you pay for everything. The minibar is free. Everything's included. There's a little bag of snacks. It's all free. It's all for you to take. And we also took extra care in how we built the rooms and so on. I mean, how most of the time you go into a hotel room today, the nightstand is, when you try to charge your phone on your bedside table, you can't charge it because, the plug is firstly behind the nightstand at the bottom, and it's usually taken up by the table lamp. So it's kind of awkward. How do you charge your phone? So when we designed Ovolo hotels, we had plug points on both sides of the bed, at a level where you could reach it easily, plug in your phone, do what you have to. So it is all about the ethos of effortless living. How can we make your life effortless? Everything was thought on very carefully. I mean, how high is a mini safe, the safe room and safe built? You shouldn't have to break your back trying to get to it. And so it's the little things that count. And we just said it's about the customer's journey that we are most concerned about. And, it was important for our customers. Like when I go into a city, sometimes I don't know where to eat or which are the cool restaurants. And many of these things are hidden, and only the locals would know about it. So we also introduced, for example, the free social hour, where you could go down and from 5 to 6 or 5 to 7 p.m. and the GM of the hotel would be there, and you could have a drink and talk to him and ask him, and a few of the staff members would be there. And there'd be other guests there also having drinks, right? And you could be talking to him, and he said, hey, listen, I want to go to a great Chinese restaurant, a good Indian restaurant, and they can recommend you something, or they can tell you about some experiences, and you just get to meet good people, right? You get to meet people with, with similar ideas and just people who want to have a good time and make sure you have a good time. So we introduce all these kind of benefits along with it. The social law is very important to us. So, we included all these things, that this made a customer feel very engaging. I mean, the whole feel at an Ovolo hotel when you walk in, the music is good, the feeling is good. It doesn't have the traditional trappings of a typical hotel. So we really tried to connect with the customer and understand what the customer was about and what was the customer looking for. And we gave them not just that, but even more. So every turn, everywhere they looked was a surprise, was even getting more than they expected.
No, incredible. And when you're describing that, I'm thinking of all the hotel experiences I have. And I have to say, I wonder sometimes who designed the room. As you say, you can never find a plug point at all. There's no chance. And actually, this all shines through when I was reading some of the reviews and seeing how many thousands of reviews and the ratings. Totally incredible. So obviously, you really carry this through and over deliver to your customers. Is there a major focus on customer satisfaction, not just in the design, but through all the service areas in the hotels?
Oh, absolutely. So when we started the hotel business, which is in 2010, we started as just pure hotels, and we'd have a coffee shop only that took care of simple things and so on, breakfast and kind of sandwiches and so on. And it's only 4 or 5 years into our journey. That means 4 or 5 years back, that we decided, no, I mean, I was told by my people that we really need to have a cool bar and restaurant and so on, and that complements the brand. I was a bit reluctant at first, and they kind of convinced me, and we started to do that. So now we've got almost every one of our hotels got a really good standalone restaurant that does that, and this is where, again, you're connecting with a customer who understands what you're providing to them, how you're providing it. And so that level of satisfaction goes through all the way, not just through the design of the hotel or the music and how we connect, but also through the food and drinks. So yes, the level of satisfaction is very important.
Incredible, yeah. I was wondering how important food was to hotels. So no, it's very clear now. And as consumers of hotels, sometimes we book direct and sometimes we book with third-party sites. But booking direct is very important for hotels, I guess. That's something that you want to promote and get the message out to explain to consumers why they should book direct?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Look, we spend so much time building our website so that people can experience a journey when they are in the website, right? They get to understand it. When they can see that and the offers we can make to them by booking direct, they can get a better feel of it. Look, the OTAs are great. They're here to stay. They're not going away. But, they represent a hotel with a thumbnail, right? And it's all about price. That's it. They're only selling a room. They're selling a price. And they want their commission on that hotel. But that thumbnail doesn't tell you much, right? And often enough, you have to give them a couple of photos, and they decide which photo they want to put onto it. So we always recommend people, hey, visit the website. Yeah, if you do really wish to go back to an OTA and book your room, fine, do that. But at least that way, then you know what is being offered along with our room rate. Because you can't put all those inclusions into that little space you get from the OTAs and so on. So it makes a big difference. And when you can experience it and you go on a website, you learn something new, and it also shows you, hey, next time you visit another city, there's another Ovolo there, and so on.
Incredible. No, I never thought of it that way before. So that's incredible. Yeah, as you say, it's a tiny little space, but you go through, you're going to spend a few nights in the place. You actually want to know what you're in store for. So checking out the site directly, it makes perfect sense. And you have a couple of locations then as well. You're not just in the location in Hong Kong. You've expanded.
Yes, absolutely. So Hong Kong, we have 4 properties. And in Australia, we have 7 properties, and we've got 2 more that are opening this year. So we've got 1 more opening in Melbourne, in South Yarra, and another one opening in Bali. So we have 2 brands. One is the Ovolo Hotels, and the other one is by Ovolo Collective. So the property may not be exactly fitting to an Ovolo style property, but we will still put all the trappings in So we call it by Ovolo. So for example, in Bali, we're opening Mama Cup by Ovolo. So they'll still have all of that vibe and everything else, but it was, the size of the rooms may not be what you'd expect with, Ovolo Hotel.
Amazing. And what's the secret to your success and expansion? You see opportunities in all these markets, and again, I guess if you're offering such an amazing service, you know the customers want it. Is that the key? Is that what the secret is?
Well, yeah, it is. When you get feedback from the customers, and we have in every hotel we have a sign that says, if there's anything you liked or did not like about this about your stay, please contact the CEO directly. So there's an email that comes directly to me, and of course to my people, because I'm trying, and we can, we get comments and so on. And I mean, it's very good to see all the nice, wonderful comments you get back. I mean, 99% of them are all about the wonderful experience and stays I've had. But sometimes the one or two things that they may not be happy with, those are things that we fixed right away. So that's what it's important. It's all about the customer experience. What we did very early on was when we started out in Hong Kong, we saw, for example, what our demographic was. What was it that they brought them to us? What did they like about it? And well, we found that 24% of our business was coming from Australians. And so could be the free minibar, I think. I'm not too sure. But anyway, so we decided to follow them into Australia. So we opened the first hotel in Melbourne, and that did a fantastic success. And next was Sydney. And again, as you can say, I mean, luck does play a role. I always wanted a property near the water in Sydney, and there are only few properties. And there's this one particular property where you had two big chains there before me, and these are two very large, famous chains, and neither one of them actually did well. And I came in and I really liked it. It's on the water, and it's a great location, and I decided to kind of roll the dice and say I'm going to try and pick this up. And I made a bet. I was successful, but it was very difficult getting the bank loan on it, because the banks were like, hey, you know what? You have two chains, and these are very reputable chains before you, and they couldn't do it. What makes you think you can do it? And I said, look, we have an idea, and this is how you're going to do it. And they were very reluctant. Anyway, it took a long time to convince, and I finally got my loans. And from the day we bought it, we never lost money. And it's just been, it's the number one rated hotel in Australia today. So we've done extremely well with it. In fact, 4 of our hotels now are top rated among the top 20 hotels in Australia. So that's a big achievement for a small brand like us, which just started just almost 10 years coming up.
What incredible! I have to say, I seen when I was reading through the reviews and checking out and doing some little preparation for today, and I have to say I was blown away by the comments and the volume of positive reviews. So it's incredible to see, and you don't see it too often. So, but we'll have links underneath this video for anyone, obviously, to go and check out your hotel brands, and if they're thinking of going to Australia or Hong Kong, definitely they need to stay in and drop us some notes in the comments on how it was. But no, they look amazing. Obviously, we went through a little bit of a challenge in tourism with the pandemic, that hopefully we're coming towards the end of, or nearly towards the other side. But tourism has changed a lot, and I'm sure your business has changed a lot. So what do you think is the future of tourism and hospitality as we move forward?
Well, Kieran, one of the things that this pandemic has taught me, or taught us, first thing is for my business, when you have 9 years of great success and everything is going well, and you kind of take things for granted. So I think it's brought me back to reality in a way, and said that, let's re-examine my business and let's see what I can do better. So I've actually had a lot of time I spent with our HR, which was something I did not enjoy, doing much of HR. It's not my strong cup of thing, but I spent a lot of time with HR, and we really planned the whole thing out very well. And you looked into every nook and facet of your business and said, how can we make it better? what can we do? How can we streamline it? How can we make it more efficient? And I think that's one of the biggest learnings I had is I actually got to see a lot of inefficiencies within my company. And I was able to look at that and say, okay, guys, you got to fix all of these things, regardless of pandemic or not. These are things that are inefficient. We got to learn to fix it. So it's given us a lot of time to reflect on ourselves because I'm stuck in Hong Kong and I can't travel. There's a travel ban pretty much everywhere. So it's taught me that. When you're saying that what's happened was about the industry, there will be a lot of changes, no doubt. I can't say much about the aviation, which is, of course, probably the worst affected industry. And I think we are probably, close in the second or third hospitality and restaurants being affected very, very badly as well. So I think the probably the biggest change that we're going to see is the focus on health and safety requirements. Everybody's coming up with their cleaning systems. We've got our own OCDC, which is obsessive commitment to deep cleaning kind of thing, and we truly believe in that. I think the smaller hotels will fare better. So I think the boutique hotels like us will kind of do a little bit better because there aren't 400 people in the lobby at any time or large gatherings, and you're able to control it well. You're not, the MICE business hotels, of course, will get affected. I mean, I don't think there are going to be many conferences, especially not in the next year or 2 years. So I think all of these will get affected. I do hope it will turn around, but I think we all have to look at what else we can change and what we can do. So we have to come up with a lot of promotions already because there will be customers who will be okay to travel. And if they're okay to travel, what would they expect in their room stay? How would they go about it? Would they still come down to the bar to have a drink? Or would they not want to be too near anyone else? So we also have, for example, a bartender service that comes to your room with a trolley, and shakes a cocktail for you and outside your room and gives it to you. So you can still enjoy your drink, and in case you don't want to come down and mingle with others, or maybe social distancing rules are still there. So you have to be able to rethink on how you provide the customer experience again. And we've been going through all of those things, and I think that's very important. We are the first company, for example, in Australia now to ask all our staff to wear a mask. It's not mandatory in Australia yet, but we thought we were the first. We felt we needed to ask all our staff to wear them because it's not just about the customer safety, but it's also the safety of our staff that is important. And I did not get any pushback. I mean, it was very well supported by the team members, and they all agreed to wear the mask. And I said, I promise you, I'll get really cool Ovolo masks for you soon. So we're actually designing them right now, and it'll go out to them, so they'll feel better about it.
Amazing. No, it's clear that you're cutting edge, and some of the ideas there. The cocktail outside your room, incredible. But it's these little ways of making people feel that they can still get the service and enjoy their stay, which are definitely going to stand the hotel group through this pandemic and as we come out the other end. So it's very clear to see that you're very innovative in what you do. So what's next? You own Australia for hotels, obviously Hong Kong. So what's next on the list?
So we've got Bali coming up, and again, Bali was the reason that because one of the largest demographic to Bali is also Australians. So we said, let's follow them again. And we're very, very keen to eventually get into UK and eventually to the United States. But there's a lot of customer base. Our second largest after Australians is UK. And we're very keen. We get so many requests that Ovolo would do so well in UK, and we're really keen to come into UK. And that would definitely be amongst the next destination we look at for an Ovolo hotel. So one of the things about Ovolo hotels, we own and operate every property. So we do not manage yet for any third party. And that's something that we're contemplating and looking at because there's only so much you can continue to buy. But we own every piece of real estate right now that Ovolo is at. And that gives us one of the reasons, but it also gives us the flexibility to keep changing things very quickly. It allows us to be nimble and agile, be able to change things and adapt to market changes and so on. So this has really helped us a lot.
Incredible. No, I can imagine just one of your hotels over here. I'm looking forward to seeing it here in the UK, or even over here as well in Ireland, across the islands here. And we'd be delighted to see you over here for sure. You're obviously a very experienced, accomplished entrepreneur. Just to close out our interview, would you have any advice or thoughts? Some people are going through very tough times at the moment. Some people are in some industries are having good times, I guess. Any thoughts when you're getting it feels like you're getting punched in the face a few times by what's happening, right? And it's not in your control. Any advice for anyone who might be watching this and how to get through that? I'm sure you've had some tough days too. It's not all plain sailing. Any advice at all would be amazing.
Absolutely. Well, a few things. One of the things came to me very early on when I started my business was to be patient, and that is a quality I never had. I was always in a rush to see things happen. But when you have a new idea, and it's different, it's disruptive, it's innovative, it takes a market time to appreciate and understand that, and you have to wait for it to happen. Don't think it's not going to happen. And that's where I came in. And after 2 months, I'm like, geez, this is a failure. I mean, what have I done? And slowly people start saying, hey, this is cool. This is really happening. This is something that's very different. And, Ovolo understands us as customers. And it happens. So, to be patient, when you have a new idea, just be patient about it. And I'd say one other thing it's one of my favorite sayings by Thomas Edison, which is a great saying, which is, vision without execution is hallucination. So having the vision, but not being able to execute it, living in la la land. So, we have the vision, but often enough, having the vision, but selling the vision to your team members is not as easy. And I've been through a lot of team members, and they also, especially the people who are the hotel stalwarts, they say, no, you can't do that. You cannot give free internet. You cannot give free minibar. That is not done, And every time when I got a resignation, I'd be like, oh, geez, here, another one, When I said, Girish, can we have a chat? I said, oh, my goodness, oh, no. He's going to be leaving me. And that was what took time, for you to sell your vision and for them to be able to execute it the way you wanted it. So I think having the right team players, and having a fantastic team right now, and I'm very proud of them. They're the ones who made Ovolo become what it is. Having 4 hotels in the top 20 in Australia is certainly a feat that I couldn't have done this sitting in Hong Kong. But this is where I say that having the right people working for you who believe in your vision, say, yes, this is possible. That is something I think is very important. So being patient, having the right team, and I think lastly, don't procrastinate. You see it happening, you have an idea, go and do it.
Incredible, brilliant advice. No, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. I really enjoyed talking to you and understanding more about the hotel group and getting that little bit of advice for ourselves and for anyone watching this as well. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ciaran.
Amazing. And thank you very much for watching today. What an interview. A great gent to talk to, Girish, giving us the time. What we've done is we've got links underneath this video directly to his hotel websites. So do check them out, click through, have a look at how beautiful the websites are. They are amazing, and have a look at the reviews. And if you're going to Hong Kong, Australia, for sure, check them out, Bali. Watch out for them coming over here to UK and Ireland as well. Do share the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you again.